Welcome back to the Rise Up podcast. Today we're diving into a topic that I'm sure many of you will connect with on a deep level: fighting those personal battles that we often keep to ourselves. These are the struggles we face alone, the ones we feel we can't share, even with those closest to us. In this episode, we'll explore how to find strength in these moments of solitude, the importance of self-responsibility, and the small steps that lead to meaningful change. If you want to follow along or revisit this episode in detail, I've prepared a PDF transcript that's available for anyone who needs it. You'll find the link in the episode description. So get comfortable, and let's get started. Have you ever fought a battle that you felt you couldn't share with anyone? One that's deeply personal, something that you don't feel safe discussing, even with those closest to you? If so, you're definitely not alone. Each of us faces struggles that, for one reason or another, we choose to keep to ourselves. Whether it's about personal success, career challenges, pressures from peers, health issues, or painful memories from the past. These are the fights we go through alone, and they can feel isolating and exhausting. I get it. It feels strange, even contradictory. On the one hand, you want someone to listen, to support you. Yet on the other, you can't bring yourself to open up. Maybe it's fear that they won't understand, or perhaps you've tried before only to be met with confusion or indifference. It's frustrating, right? This sense of contradiction, wanting connection yet fearing exposure, can create a vicious cycle of loneliness and anxiety. The paradox of silence. I've noticed something curious about human nature. We often don't want to share our struggles, but we desperately wish someone would understand them. It's not uncommon to feel conflicted, wanting to keep your pain locked away while hoping that someone would magically offer the perfect words of comfort. But life doesn't work that way. We end up facing these challenges alone because, in many cases, sharing doesn't bring the understanding we hope for. Sometimes people just don't get it, no matter how clearly we explain. This disconnect leaves us even more discouraged, reinforcing the feeling that no one else could possibly understand what we're going through. The power of self-responsibility. What's the solution? First, it's about shifting your mindset. While you may have to fight your battles alone, remember that you're not the only one waging this kind of war. Many others are struggling with similar, unspoken challenges. You might not see them, but they're out there. In this solitude, the most important thing you can do is take responsibility, not for the pain you didn't choose, but for your response to it. Life isn't fair, and sometimes we get dealt a bad hand. You might have been handed a difficult situation, whether it's genetics, circumstances, or events beyond your control. It's okay to acknowledge that things aren't your fault, but it's also crucial to decide how you'll handle them. It's about turning the pain into a stepping stone, rather than a stumbling block. Embracing small steps forward. The key is to look for small, positive actions you can take, however insignificant they might seem at first. Start with questions like, what can I do today that will make my situation just a little bit better? It doesn't have to be grand or profound. It could be as simple as going for a morning jog, taking a walk in the park, or having a healthy meal. These small steps are like planting seeds. They might not change your world overnight, but over time they grow into something meaningful. One thing I've learned is that trusting the process is vital. Progress may be slow, but it's progress nonetheless. Maybe you're running in the park, soaking up the sunlight, and getting that boost of vitamin D. Over weeks, you notice a subtle but undeniable shift in your mood and energy. That's the power of consistency. Small changes, repeated over time, lead to bigger transformations. You are your best ally. In the end, the person who will help you the most is you. No one else can fight your battles the way you can. Sure, you might find support from a friend, a therapist, or a loved one. But the first step has to come from within. Accepting responsibility for how you move forward, even when you didn't choose the struggle, is a powerful form of self-love. This is not about blaming yourself for what went wrong, but about acknowledging that you have the power to shape what comes next. The way you react, the choices you make, and the mindset you adopt are all within your control. Every small act of self-care, every positive habit you build, is a sign that you value yourself enough to make things better, even if it's just a little bit at a time. Seeking support when you're ready. If you ever feel ready to open up, don't hesitate to seek professional help. A therapist or counselor can offer that non-judgmental space you need, and they're trained to listen in a way that even the closest friend may not be able to. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a courageous step toward healing. And sometimes, simply feeling understood can make all the difference in the world. In a society that often masks pain with forced smiles, it's important to remember that facing your battles, whether alone or with support, is a strength, not a weakness. And while the journey may be long, know that you are not truly alone. Others are out there fighting their own silent wars, and your perseverance adds to the collective strength of all who strive for a better life despite the hardships. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Rise Up podcast. Remember, even if your battles feel like they're yours alone, there are others out there fighting their own silent struggles. What truly matters is how we choose to face them, one small step at a time. Don't forget that the PDF transcript of this episode is available if you'd like to explore the content more deeply. I hope this discussion has been both inspiring and empowering for you. Until next time, keep rising up, stay strong, and always remember you are not alone in your journey. Take care.